Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Blake of the Jaegers, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most horrific fan fictions ever written. Now, fan fictions usually are not known for their quality, but this one in particular reeks. And not because it is of lesser quality than fan fictions. Actually, as far as fan fiction goes, it is actually pretty high quality. Which is saying something about fan fiction. I am in no way complimenting AO Teen Requiem or their team at all. But this, objectively, by fan fiction standards, this is pretty good fan fiction. The reason why this is the most disgusting fan fiction ever written, one of the most disgusting fan fictions ever written, and why it's so putrid and grotesque, is because it claims to be the original ending, and it claims to be an improvement upon Isayama's chapter, and crap like that. Just imagine if someone decided it'd be a cute idea to go in and rewrite the ending of The Great Gatsby and said, you know what, this is better, right? It probably has been done before, but it has not been done in this or audacious and flamboyant fashion, acting like that Fitzgerald, the author of The Great Gatsby, is nothing, and he is worthless, and that his work is garbage, and that you can make great improvements on it. Imagine how grotesque that would be. This awful piece of work does the exact same thing. It takes a very highly esteemed, high-quality work and decides, I actually know the original ending, and I'm going to make it better. But oh yes, respect for Isayama. No, you cannot go and spit in someone's face and then say, oh, respect. And yes, I know he's fine with these things. It does not make it okay. Do we really need to go down a rabbit hole? So you're going to have to come with a little more proof than that. Also, since my spiel is over, I am now formally challenging, or maybe inviting, I should say, Brown's Magic on to my channel, or I'll go on her channel, whatever she wants, because we've had a little bit of a scuffle in the comment section. I think she actually refused to reply. She was pretty adamant about replying before. Now she apparently has been kidnapped by the SBU because she's not responding to my comments. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So yeah, Saint Chief, Brown's Magic, whatever, come on the show, or I'll go on your channel and we can have a discussion. I am not going to type out 50,000 page essays in the comment section. I want to have an actual dialogue between people, because someone brings up a point, I'll be able to respond in real time and not have 50,000 word essays, have someone respond with a bigger essay, and then, it's so much better just to have a conversation and respond in real time. Those disclaimers out of the way, we will now be moving on to, of course. Oh God, we will now be moving on to, Anime Balls Deep. Now, the reason I'm using Anime Balls Deep is not because I want to go off of their fame by any means. The reason I'm using Anime Balls Deep is because it is their mainstream channel, and they bring up the most popular arguments for A&R. So I'm going to be responding. Not only am I going to be reading the chapter, or more having it read to me. I'm not really that good of a reader, so it's going to be read to me. And on top of that, it is also bring up the popular arguments and why it's better, right? So I'm not putting balls deep in my tags and my title or anything. I'm simply using this to as a soundboard for the A&R fan base. Okay, so I don't want any shit for that. Let's continue.
As he will explain the rest of part.
He just said he was going to pass it off to his crony.
Part 2, and how it connects to the original story and fixes all the plot holes and making Eren
right there. So they're saying, oh, it's making Eren's character better and it's fixing all the plot holes. But so much respect for Isayama. No, you're disgusting. Choose one or the other. Just say, I hate Isayama and I hate everything he does, or you can say, I like Isayama and I'm going to be actually respectful. You cannot say, oh, we like Isayama, but at the same time pulling this disgusting garbage.
It's ultimate Jag.
Okay, so coming back to part 2, within Eren's memory, he finally speaks to Floch. This was a great addition. I mean, in the original manga, Floch seems like a radical with no concrete evidence to believe in the devil that is Eren. He needed reaffirmation and confidence in his leader that he would be convinced that Eren would complete the plans he tells him. It's actually crucial that we need this scene with Eren and Floch to add a layer of security for his character. So Eren tells Floch his plans for the full rumbling. Floch questions his intentions because if he couldn't sacrifice Armin for Eren, how could he destroy the world? So Eren then tells Floch everything, and that he hasn't told any of the others about the rumbling.
Quick question: Why would he trust Floch of all people? I thought Floch is bad. Again, I like Floch. It's just, why is he entrusting him with his real intentions? You see, in the original manga, in the original chapter, you actually see him go on and manipulate everyone. You see him manipulate Astoria, you see him manipulate Zeke, you see him manipulate Yelena and Floch. Now, my question is, if he's not trusting Mikasa and Armin, why is he trusting Floch? He does not know him. Again, not because he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that Floch is a bad guy. I think he's actually my third favorite character, actually. But I want to know why he's trusting him with his true intentions and only him. Wouldn't it make more sense if it was Mikasa or Armin or someone he knows more? I don't know. It just comes out of left field that he's given his heart to Floch. Very strange. Let's continue.
Because they wouldn't be able to do what is necessary to save Paradise. All of this still puts Floch in doubt, as he isn't sure that.
If you record podcasts and videos remotely with Riverside, you're
Someone like Eren, who is so sentimental, is up for the task, but again he follows a theme saying that they can't hope for a miracle either. No matter how you look at it, it's either them or us. So Floch continues to question Eren if he can truly commit an unforgivable sin, which Eren responds that doing nothing will cause his death in 5 years anyways, and if being a devil makes a change, he will gladly be one. He is going to save Aldia no matter.
Okay, now the thing that these illustrations, man, they're not bad or good, just definitely not drawn by Siyama, and that irks me. But the thing that I always bring up is Eren never, Eren just learned he was an Eldian. He didn't know he was an Eldian until just recently. Now, he's known he was Armin's friend for a long time, and we've shown his willingness to sacrifice his life for Armin. We know he's been with Mikasa for a while. We know about his willingness to sacrifice himself for Mikasa. He did that twice. Once in season 1, once in season 2. I want to know where all this patriotism came from. Right? Not that it's bad. I'm just wondering, where did it come from? He's known he was a friend and a freedom fighter way before Eldia. Why would Eldia be his number one priority? Right? And another thing that I always bring up is the owl. When he sends his message to the owl, he doesn't say, and again, they're talking about in the context of Eldia. They're talking about Eldia, but what does Eren say? What comes out of the owl's mouth? If you want to save Eldia, continue with your mission. If you want to have freedom, you'll continue your mission. If you want your sons to have freedom, you'll continue with your mission. No. It says if you want to save Mikasa, number 1, Armin, number 2, and everyone else, number 3, then you will complete your mission. That's one of the many. Don't even try to refute that in the comments. That's one of the many reasons why or proofs why he cares about his friends more than Eldia. And another thing, people keep talking about. Well, if we care about his friends, then how can we let Sasha and Hanji die, huh? Stop it. Please, stop it. That's ridiculous. Again, number one, just number one, he's known Mikasa and Armin before he knew Sasha or Hanji. That's number 1. Number 2 is obviously he has, you have friends and they have best friends. Obviously, I didn't think this was a question. Obviously, he loves Armin and Mikasa much more than he loves Sasha, and definitely much more than he loves Hanji. That's ridiculous. And number three, obviously he's in love with Mikasa. We know this, and again, whether you like it or not, he's in love with Mikasa. So do with that what you will. Okay, and number 4, this is 100% done on purpose. But yes, every time this phrase is repeated, it's repeated multiple times. It's always the exact same way. First, it's Mikasa, because Mikasa is number 1 priority, and we know this because in 138 he leaves Eldia and mostly Armin to die, knowing they're gonna die, but he goes with Mikasa instead. Of course, that was the right decision to do. I'm just saying he's sacrificing Eldia and Armin to be with Mikasa. But every time this phrase is repeated, it's always Mikasa first, then Armin, then everybody else. Because Jean and Sasha and Connie, they're all in one area. He basically loves them the same. Armin, he loves them more than those people. Mikasa, he loves them most. So, Sasha and Hanji were 100% a worthy sacrifice to get Mikasa and Armin's freedom, 100%. So that is the silly argument. But let's continue.
What? We move to another memory where Historia slaps Eren in rhetoric of Eren's self-loathing nature and not caring about dying just like in the cave. She tells him to
Okay, now, I'm not going to talk about that.
think about the people who love him, referring back to herself and others. Eren can't break the promise and that he should come back because she won't be able to bear the burden of going through a plan like his all on her own. They should
Again, I don't know why he decided to make a story a more evil character than she originally is. I mean, she originally cared about she cared about the genocide, so I don't know, and she didn't want it to happen. I don't know why you make her this more evil character where she's able to go along with it. But hey, that's your own decision. I don't really care either way.
face the repercussion together rather than ditching her. She's reminded of the people that was close to her that left her. From her older half-sister Frida to her best friend Ymir. So at this point, Historia and Eren agreed to have a child. This is where they keep
Now, one of the funniest parts in the entire manga, not the manga, this awful fanfiction, and it's about to get real fanfiction-esque pretty soon here, but this is ridiculous. Have a child? Again, I always thought, when I thought he was, again, I honestly, my headcanon was that he was a father, but I always thought it was weird that he was a father. Again, so many unanswered questions were really answered in 139. I know a lot of people say that there's a lot of unanswered questions by 139, which is true, especially the first version, but there was a lot of questions that came to mind that I was like, this doesn't make any sense, and this is one of them. Why is Eren choosing to have a kid when he knows he's going to live for 4 more years? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, now I come to know he actually is not the father, right? Which makes infinitely more sense than him just having this child and dying when he's 4 or she's 4. But this is just ridiculous. Again, I mean, have you seen any of the music for Attack on Titan? It's all about Mikasa and Eren from season 1 to season 4, and this is just getting ridiculous. Wait till the first ending drops, and it's probably something to do with Mikasa and Eren again. Wait till that drops and let the Hope Child scream and cry. This is ridiculous. Eren has never expressed any romantic interest in Historia whatsoever. It's always been Mikasa since the beginning. I don't know why you want to take away such a great love story from Eren and Mikasa and have this ridiculous. I mean, this one, Eren, is it called Eren Hisu? Is that how you say it? Eren Hisu is not that bad, but I mean, Eren Mikasa is just much better. And there's been no songs or any foreshadowing about this. This is just ridiculous, and it's so corny. I never thought Attack on Titan is corny, but Attack on Titan is being very corny right now. And if you think that this is corny, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this in the context of how corny it's about to get. Just wait.
keep it a secret and have an emotional moment. Floch then finds out that Historia is pregnant and gains confidence in his leader, that he will go through with his plans as long as he keeps the Jaegerist regime going. Now, as
again, I mean, he could have just told Floch about how much he loves Mikasa, but hey, they don't like that ship.
Armin comes out of Eren's memory, he is instantly pushed away, falling to the ground. Armin tears up thinking how Eren went balls deep with Historia and got her pregnant. Now, following from the original story, everyone knew Historia was pregnant, but no one in the Attack on Titan universe, except a few, expected Eren to be the father. As the readers, we can look at things holistically and possess knowledge that the characters don't. So Armin...
Again, this is what I said in my second one. Again, we are... we don't know anything. Throughout the entire show, we don't know anything. We're always behind the show. We always don't know what's going on. As do the characters. In fact, some characters actually know more than us on a daily basis, right? First, it was the female Titan, who knew more than us. Then it was Armin the Colossal, who knew more than us. Then it was Zeke. Then it was the King. Then it's the Emperor of Marley, and it goes so on and so forth. Then it's Ymir, right? So actually, no. We actually cannot look at things, quote, holistically. We actually know less than most of the characters, or just as much. That's the entire appeal of Attack on Titan. It's a very well-done mystery story. And again, they're confusing this. They're confusing how the story's supposed to be. Because again, as I said in my second and first review, they're acting like that Attack on Titan is narrated by an omniscient narrator when it's really not. It's first person, and you're seeing it exactly how it's playing out, and you don't know anything, just like the characters don't know anything. And there's actually more knowledgeable characters than you. So no. While that's not that big of a problem in the moment, it's just the overall approach to the story is what I hate.
Asks Eren, why didn't he tell him about this? And if Mikasa knows, indicating that Mikasa's love for Eren wasn't really a secret between them. Eren responds saying that
you weren't meant to see that. Okay, okay. This is what I'm talking about. This nonsense right here. He's like, wait, Historia, does Mikasa know? And then Eren's like, oh, you weren't supposed to say that. This is 100% exactly like a soap opera. Who does this? Attack on Titan does not do this. Soap operas do this. Soap operas have cringy scenes like, oh, does she know? Eren's like, instead of Eren's response to be to simply ignore Armin, which is, again, Armin would never say something like that, but instead of his response being to ignore Eren, he says, oh, you weren't supposed to say that. With his hand all like this. This is just getting ridiculous. Oh, but Simp Eren was cringy. That's what I can't stand with you. People write cringy, disgusting stuff like this. When he has a secret affair with a story and Armin finds out. But Eren actually exposing how deeply he feels about Mikasa and how much he loves Mikasa. Oh, that's cringy. After years of this Chad persona, and he breaks and shows who he really is. That's cringy. But this nonsense where he's this ultra stoic, quiet figure doing the finger stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to see that," and then he goes back to being a stoic, quiet figure. That's not cringy. That's not contradictory. All right, man. Whatever. Let's continue with Days of Our Titans.
Armin wasn't supposed to see those memories. How did Armin see those memories? Well, we can suggest that it was due to the Titan Shifter's connection. But before Armin slipped into these memories...
No, you gotta explain that. You gotta explain that right now, bro. How did he see those memories? Oh, you don't know? Okay, good to know. And this nonsense. Why is Kid Eren here? They never explain this, actually. This does get explained in the original manga, why he's here, right? And they're never shown at the same time for a very specific reason, right? And again, the song later explains who this person is, and this is the child of evil, as we know in the song. So not only did we know beforehand, then the song, which is canon, further confirmed our opinions. They still haven't addressed why this little guy is here and why he appears in the same frame as Eren. I mean, yes, they did, but it's still very weak reason. They did explain a little while back.
Memories. Something like this only happened when Eren was in contact.
Yeah, Eren, the founder, touched royal blood. Yeah, this is Armin's not neither.
With a royal
neither.
Blooded Aldean. However, since we know Eren became the chosen one due to his ideals, he freed Ymir from her shackles that tied her to her descendants and
I want to know why the Titans are still around if he freed her. Or is that how it's gonna work? Is that how Einar's gonna end? He freed her like that, so the Titans are gonna be gone, and after he gets done with the rumblings, how it's gonna go. Okay.
Royal blood. Looking back at chapter 121, Eren made Ymir defy Zeke's royal blood for the first time, which then granted him all the powers of the Titans and they...
Again, this is a mistake people keep making. I keep telling people that he was not being manipulated by Ymir, and the reason we know is because... his eyes were green here. Now, granted, the anime wasn't out yet, but that doesn't matter. It still proves he didn't understand the story. I always say, how come these anime haters never say, how come we understood the story up until just recently, right? It's like the Indian haters and Indian defenders were on the same page, and then 139 came up, and now all of a sudden we don't understand the story. No, you guys didn't understand the story since the beginning. This is ridiculous right here. Definitely not purple eyes. That's stupid. But let's continue.
Their memories. Eren, being in such an emotional state with his friend, is more than likely thinking about these events, which pushed him to where
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
he is now. As Eren having a child with Historia gives a greater purpose to his actions, though it's selfish in nature. In
I
reality,
mean, you can say that, but him also loving Mikasa gives him greater purpose to his actions. So I don't see the problem. Hello? Hello? Alright, I think we're good. Yep, we're good. Alright, let's continue.
the best outcome for our own offspring and family first, before the well.
Mikasa is his, well, she said we're family, and if she was his wife, they'd be family too, so I don't see the problem with him being with Mikasa, and why he needed to change it to being this baby.
Being of those outside of it. Human nature, time and time again, shows this hierarchy of care, starting with your kids, your spouse, your parents, your
It should be your wife first. And you may think I'm being nitpicky here by having the wife be the first priority, but it is true. And again, I wouldn't expect a couple of teenagers to know this, but yeah, your wife should definitely be the first priority. And of course, that leads into me saying, of course, that Mikasa would be better motivation for the rumbling than a kid. But again, that's a very small nitpick. And again, you're not supposed to know that. You're a couple of teenagers. That's why the adults write the stories, not the kids.
family, your friends, your neighbors, then humanity outside of that circle. It all comes down to personal affiliation and attachments. In Attack on Titan No Requiem, Chapter 1, Eren, seeing all the future outcomes with the Founding Titan's ability, foresaw that this is the only option for him to achieve his dream of a good future for his child. One may think that doing this selfish action, even for your own child, lacks humanity. But the thing is, having the power of
again, I am the last person. This is the thing they only get. This is the part they get right. I am the last person you need to convince of this. Again, I am. My name is not a joke. I'm seriously a Jaegerist. Yeah, I have no problem whatsoever. In fact, I actually respect Eren a lot more than I do respect Armin. Of course, I respect Armin. Of course, and even Hanji. Oh, I hate her, but I respect her. Yeah, I'm the last person you have to convince for this. This is when they're 100% right. Yeah, family first, always, at any point. My question to you is, why are you so pissed off at Annie then? You just got caught because you're like, oh yes, family first. Eren needs to destroy the entire world for his kid. But let Annie do something. All of a sudden, they need to chop her head off. Interesting. Again, if you're gonna be consistent with one, be consistent with the other. Yeah, I totally approve, and I 100% respect the hell out of Eren for doing the rumbling for his, especially since he sacrificed his own self. That on top of that, for his family, 100% for Mikasa. But again, same thing with Annie. She did the same. She did it for her father. So you can't be mad at her if you're gonna be mad at Eren. Don't be mad at Annie, because since Annie cannot hold a candle to Eren. Eren is so bad. You have to use another word for him. And no, I'm talking about genocide. I'm talking about omnicide. Annie just did a couple of killings. He went to genocide and then omnicide. So I'm sorry, you cannot reconcile the two. But yeah, that being out of the way, yeah, I'm actually probably gonna have to skip this because I completely and totally agree with you 100% on this. Yeah, I don't care. It's I think they're gonna bring up the train dilemma here later on, but yeah, I totally agree with you.
Founding Titan and the Attack Titan shifted Eren's actions away from the humanistic one to resemble a godly being or even a natural catastrophe. Eren knows full well peace is unattainable due to his understanding of the memories he had.
And I will have to bring this up again because people keep making this mistake. Peace is unattainable, period. Not peace is unattainable unless we kill all of our enemies. No, peace is unattainable, period. And I am going to be doing a video about the ocean scene because I think that scene is probably the most misunderstood scene in the entire show. But let's continue.
has access to, and has even asked a few times if Armin could access Bertoltz before, most likely testing him to see if Armin even tried to see what it's really like on the other side. But this lack of connection caused Eren to distance himself away from Armin prior to the events of Attack on Titan No Requiem. Chapter 112 can literally be seen as a foreshadowing to what Attack on Titan No Requiem is doing.
I've already watched this video. I've already watched these videos multiple times, so that's what's about to happen. He's about to bring up one of the greatest foreshadows for our side, yet he's going to pass it off as his own. That's what I'm saying. You guys didn't understand the story from the beginning. From episode 1, you didn't understand the story. And hell, I don't even think you understand the story now. Even now, at episode 1, I don't think you understand what's actually happening right in front of your face. But he's about to show he's about to have one of the worst takes any ending haters ever taken. This is about to be like, not 3 out of 10 wits. It's about to be a 1 out of 10 wits right here. Okay, are you ready? Let's go.
When Mikasa asks Armin
Okay.
why Eren is pushing them away from him, that Eren has a hidden motivation and agenda that he isn't telling them, which gradually made him
Okay, so let's actually rewind that. I'll let him read his part, but let's actually read the entire panel.
foreshadowing to what Attack on Titan No Requiem is doing. When Mikasa asks
Okay, so...
Armin why Eren is pushing them away from him, that
Okay, so he says, or someone says, if Eren is really hiding his true intentions, why would he push us away from him? And of course, Eren answers this question in 139. He's pushing you away so that so that you guys can kill him. That's why. He said he hated me. Why would Eren say that? So that you can kill him. Right? This gets answered in 139. Why he's bringing this up to justify his crappy fanfiction, hey, I don't know. And there's ignorant Connie, and I know this. There's another thing people get about Connie, that I have to constantly remind people over and over again. Like, I'm not your dad. Should I be repeating myself to you over and over again? But here we are. Connie's saying, yes, he's turned into a total piece of bleep. Now, you may be saying, look, here's Connie. He's obviously, it's like he flipped on a dime. One time he's calling Eren a piece of ass, and then now he's all happy with Eren and fine with Eren. What you don't understand is that, again, Connie is saying that Eren's a piece of crap, but he himself is not a piece of crap, is what he thinks. What he's about to do when he is about to feed Falco, who is you can't say he's not innocent. He's a very, very innocent person. It's like he's feeding Berthold or something to his mom. He's feeding Falco, but he's about to take a human life, something he never thought of himself. And not to mention what he did in Liberio. And then on top of that, he knew that reviving his mother was a selfish and wrong thing to do because it would not be the best thing for her. Yeah, he was going to do it anyway. And that's when he feels dirty and like a sinner, which is what he is. He's a sinner. And so then he loses the moral high ground and moral superiority. So now he understands what Eren is doing and why he's doing it. He understands what it's like to feel that way. He's like, oh man, Eren feels the same way I'm feeling, just worse. So he actually ends up feeling bad for him, just like Eren ends up feeling bad for Titans. So, again, I know I have to mention it because every time Connie's like this, I have to bring it up over and over again. I wish people would get it. And if you don't get it, again, today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. Email me. My email's in my about section. You can find me on Reddit, Beluga_Jaeger, so you can see my posts there. You can respond to one of them, whatever. Comment on the video, whatever. I can debate you today or tomorrow. Perfectly fine, if you don't agree with me on that. But yeah, so he's lost sight of who he is at this point. He hurt the two people he cared about the most. He's lost sight of who he is at this point. Didn't he say that exact thing in 139? Now listen to this. Listen to this. This is what I call an awkward scene. An awkward scene is a scene that foreshadows something but makes no sense in the present tense. Perfect example of this is Reiner's speech. Well, it's actually not the perfect example. It's the best example, the most famous example. Reiner's speech when he says, we were kids, what did we know, right? That makes no sense. It's sort of like an awkward, like, why is he saying this? It's not the best example, but it's a very powerful example, so I can use that. Now, this is about to be a very awkward scene. If he was right in his mind, I don't see him doing it without a reason. Could he have some sort of hidden motive? The answer, yes. He's not trying to destroy. He's not trying. His main priority or his main motive is not to destroy everyone else. His main motive is to have Mikasa kill him or to have the Titans be gone from the world. Remember, that's the scenery he saw. And again, I've had some people say, "What scenery did he see?" Okay, so I guess again I have to handhold you through this. And I'll show you what scenery, okay? Because, man, you guys. Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready for the scenery? Okay, this is actually I probably shouldn't have been so mean about it because this is actually shown in an interview, a Japanese exclusive interview at the back of one of the Tokobons. So probably didn't see it, but here it is right here. Here's the scenery. Here it is. This is what he saw. Okay, that's the scenery he saw right there. Okay, just so that everyone knows what I'm talking about, because apparently there's some confusion over what he saw. But yeah, he saw the Titan powers being gone from the Earth. That's what he saw, and again, he knew that Mikasa wouldn't die because Mikasa's the one who to kill him. So, or to make the choice. So that is his hidden motive. Again, yes, I'm not saying that that Mikasa was the only reason why I started rumbling. Yes, I know you don't need to say that to me. Again, I shot multiple videos about Eren. You can go watch my Is Eren Free video. You can watch my Eren's Goals video. You can watch Eren Always Care About His Friends video, part 1 and part 2. If you want to know my full perspective on Eren's rumbling motivations, let's just say Eren's an actual complex, layered character. He's a very, very richly written character, and he's a bunch of reasons for what he does. Just like a natural person. But yes, this is his main motive, and this is what this is foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing that he wants Mikasa to make the choice to get rid of the Titans so that she can live a long, happy life, like the things he's been saying since episode 1. Let's continue.
Eren has a hidden motivation and agenda that he isn't telling them, which gradually made him change over the years. The Attack on Titan no
Another big misconception, and I'm sure everyone knows about that, but Eren never changed. Again, I fell for a lot of the... Again, as Sash said, and yes, I mentioned Sash. Did Sash lose the debate against Sand Chief? Did Sash say some weird stuff? Yes, but Sash is mainly right about stuff. And yeah, it wasn't really a facade. It was more of a half-truth, right? He was saying true stuff mixing with lies, stuff like that. But yeah, he did not change. He's been the same at the end. Again, what I was saying was I was fooled by some of the stuff, but I still understood the story. You guys didn't understand the story even here. He did not change. He's been the same person he was since the beginning, and that's why I supported him in Liberia. I was like, "Yeah, great, go for it, Eren, go ahead." I never felt bad for him. I never felt bad for anything at all. I was like, "This is perfect," because I was rooting for him when he was killing Titans. I was like, "Yeah, Eren, go kill the Titans," and now he's doing this. He's taking the exact same logic. He's doing the exact same thing. I'm like, "Yeah, good, go for it." But yeah, he's not changed at all. He's been the exact same character in that regard. Okay, Eren doesn't just have one arc or even an arc. He has so many different character development, character progression that it's hard it'd be ridiculous to say he has a character arc. But in this sense, he stayed the same the entire time. So let's continue.
Team stitched everything up so perfectly to Isayama's writing.
No, they didn't.
Is out of place.
It's nonsense. Oh, that you guys completely threw out the last 3 pages, 3 chapters, robbed us of one of the greatest chapters in the entire book, which would be 137, especially towards the end. And then you said, "Oh, we stepped up with when Isayama's writing." That's disgusting. That's disrespectful. Don't say you're respecting Isayama. Don't say you like Isayama if you're gonna say some garbage like that. Let's continue.
All of this links back to the original storyline, where Eren calling Mikasa a slave was due to him feeling that no matter what, his friends will never truly understand him.
No, he called for a slave so that she would kill him. That's why.
When Eren...
Come on, guys. I'd say I'm smart on this, but I genuinely do not believe that.
Is able to fully access the memories after releasing Ymir from her connection to the royal blood, he can see the various different directions, as time is omniscient and exists in different forms all at once. This, with his understanding of the world, Paradis being used as a scapegoat for the non-Aldeans' hatred, Taiba declaring war.
Looking for royalty-free music? Discover Epidemic Sound. Get the safest music.
Every right to declare war.
And so
why not? No, seriously. I mean, unless you're going to say that he shouldn't have been trying to preserve himself, because he knew what he was doing to the Eldians. He knew what he did after he was oppressed, or the Marley. He knew what the Marleyans did after they were oppressed by the Eldians, and he knew that he didn't have the king under his thumb anymore, right? It's like, again, like I said, like Jimmy Carter. He thought he was doing Jimmy Carter. All of a sudden, Trump came in office. He's like, and he had a right to declare war because he did exactly what he said he would do. He did. Am I a fan of Lily Tiber? I mean, yes and no. Was Eren killing him to me, Dr. Hoist? Yes, but you have to understand that Lily Tiber, wanting to defend himself and his nation, of course he declared war at him, and he had every right to. It was probably a reasonable thing to do, because that's exactly what Eren ended up doing.
On and so forth. History with the nature of the humans and the knowledge of the future further was augmented in his argument against Armin, that there would never be peace, no matter how much it'd be wished for by the typical person. The power.
Now, this nonsense where they're debating and stuff like that. I mean, Armin, again, you're insulting. It says on there, you're insulting Armin's intelligence, because Armin was not trying to problem solve with Eren. More like they had different priorities, so they're working towards two different goals. Eren wanted to sacrifice everyone to save Mikasa and Eldia, and Armin wanted to sacrifice Eldia to save the world. So they were not working in the same direction. So, and he knew this, and they were trying to avoid it and euphemize it and all sort of stuff. But then as time started getting shorter and shorter, then they realized, yeah, we just have two different ideologies, and we're not going to agree on that. You think orange is the best color? I think red's the best color, and there's no debating it. So let's just. That's why he says he's going to debate him after Eren's in a position of weakness and Armin's in a position of strength. That's when he's going to debate him, right? Because there's no reason to, because they already know where they are. That's why I take issue massively with this whole pseudo dramatic conflict between Eren and Armin. Is just ridiculous.
Powers that be have already decided to wage war. But coming back to the chapter, regardless of Eren's explanation and
nonsense, as if another thing with this page that I don't like.
For by the typical person, the powers that be have already decided to wage war. But coming back to the chapter, regardless,
is that the Circuit Corps fought for humanity's survival, not for a particular nation. As I said, maybe I didn't say this, but the Circuit Corps would be a international organization if it was in the real world. So I don't know why he's invoking Commander Erwin, which would probably be indifferent about the whole thing. No, I'm not going to explain to you why. And of course, Hanji. I mean, he brings up Hanji for goodness sakes, as if Hanji was part of the rumbling. I mean, this is just a massive, massive, massive mistake on their part. They do not understand the story. Again, I would implore any defenders, please don't stop saying that just because you're shaming us for saying it. Or because they're typical. They don't understand the story. They really, really, truly do not. Something is wrong with these people. Because they do not understand the story, not even on deeper levels than you can possibly imagine. They don't understand the story. The story that you are watching, the story that they're watching, are two completely different stories to them. And it's been like that since season 1. Go talk to any hater about season 1, and you will start to see very, very, very strong differences of opinion. They'll be subtle, they'll be hidden, but they'll be there. So don't ever stop saying that they don't understand the story, because they really, really, really do not understand the story. And again, nor should they, right? You wouldn't expect a 5-year-old to understand Scarlet Letter. Of course not. He's never been married. He didn't know that much about Shane. Why would he understand that, right? Same thing with this. There's no reason why someone who's not highly intelligent, highly wise, highly experienced, whatever, would understand the story. This doesn't make any sense. It's not for you, okay? But yeah, this is a PSA to the Indian defenders.
Regardless of Eren's explanation, and even after learning about Eren's child, Armin still isn't convinced of Eren's choice, shouting back,
this is a bizarre of you. It's so funny. Oh man.
This still will not absolve him. This is because even though the memories Armin saw deepened his understanding of what Eren has to lose if he fails, it still stemmed from a selfish hypocrisy to commit the same sin but on a grander scale.
He's been told that so many times. By Historia, by Hanji, by Armin. Maybe not Hanji, but he's been told this a billion times. I don't know why you guys keep saying it. I don't know why Armin's saying that, thinking that Eren's going to have some sort of different answer. He's already settled this. He already knows all this. And this is why Armin does not waste time arguing with him.
Because Eren chose to kill billions for himself and his home, losing his friends
in the billions. Definitely not billions. I mean, it might have been a billion, but it definitely was not billions. Again, I don't know where you guys are getting these numbers from. That's why I say I don't understand the story. Where are these numbers coming from? Seriously. Are you thinking today's current population? Because Eren said this happened 100 years ago. That's my ultimate proof for this happening in World War I. Because he said it happened 100 years ago. But let's continue.
Process. Eren hiding the fact about his child and the truth of everything before he started the rumbling reinforced that he himself saw this hypocrisy, and the reason for not revealing the truth was so he wouldn't
and
have.
It's not hypocrisy. He says, if someone takes freedom from me, I'll take freedom from them. It's really not being hypocritical. Because again, the other thing that people didn't understand, the other thing that these sickos didn't understand was that when Armin said, why did you kill my mother? He wasn't angry at Reiner. And I thought that he made that perfectly clear when he said, forget about that. I didn't mean to torture you. And then furthermore, when he said, me and you are the same. I'm pretty sure that we all knew he wasn't mad at Reiner, wasn't angry at Reiner. But again, these people, they're watching a completely different, they're watching like some tense interrogation scene where the father's coming back to avenge his daughter that got killed by a drunk driver. They're seeing that. We're seeing character development in a new side of Eren. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah, they don't understand the story at all.
Called out on this. Armin feels as
it's not hypocrisy, because he's not saying that's why he wasn't angry at Reiner, because they were the same. They were willing to sacrifice innocent people and recreate their own trauma for their own purposes. So he's not really being a hypocrite per se, and that's why he feels bad for. He feels bad for Damon. You see at the end he feels bad for the Titan in season 3. So no, he's not being a hypocrite at all. He's really not. But let's continue.
Eren simply.
And this is nonsense. Armin would never say this because Armin knows there's no other option. And he may be saying, didn't he say that in 139? Yeah, he did, under a completely different context. Trusted us from the beginning. That's the other thing. He knows Armin knows he shouldn't have been trusted, because Armin and Hanji in the final site, the Traitor Corps, had different objectives than Eren from the start. So he would never say this, number one. And no, they would not have found a different option together. And he does say at the end, yeah, there's still more time. And then, of course, Eren rejects that option because Eren feels guilty about killing those people. So, again, there's another side of Eren that you're not portraying here. Just all around garbage. Let's continue.
Didn't trust his friends to help him come up with an alternative solution. Instead, in Armin's eyes, Eren condemned his own child to be the child of a monster. However, Eren holds his ground against Armin.
That's something the story. Our story says something along the lines of that. She says that she wouldn't be able to live with herself if she let that happen, and she was benefiting off of that, which is why he shouldn't have married her. I don't know how that would have worked out, but that's why he didn't say it. Well, let's continue.
Knowing this, saying that they were always monsters, not just in the terms of being titans, but devils in the eyes of the world, and being.
Well, they are sick, evil people. Again, I mean, this video isn't very popular anyway, but I mean, they were raping people, and genociding people, and ethnically cleansing people. They weren't just monsters in the eyes of the world. They were actually sick motherfuckers. They were evil people, the Eldians. I mean, King Fritz was their ruler, for goodness sakes. These were evil, horrible people who did a lot of genuinely disgusting stuff. Which is another reason why I'm confused why the number is so high, because they certainly killed large swaths of people, innocent people. So no, they're not monsters because they're perceived as monsters. They're monsters because they're actually monsters, and so are the Marleyans. And that is why the psychoviolence happens before we already get to the story. That's why the Eldians are the bad guys and the Marleyans are the bad guys. So you can have an expectation. Oh, there's no victim here. There's no good guy here. They're just bad people. And whoever has the power is going to be the oppressor, or does not have the power is going to be the victim. And then when the victim gets the power, they're going to be the oppressor again. Okay, I understand. Okay, that makes sense. But no, instead, like, oh, they were monsters in the eyes of the world. No, they were genuinely evil people. But let's continue.
Being with the potential capability of hurting and killing others for their own sake. Eren literally calling Armin out on this is a playback to Armin's own actions and calculative decisions in the war against Marley. Let's not forget Armin using the Titan's power, he stampeded Liberio, along with being involved in other murders, justly or not. Even in chapter 127, the gang gathered around together going over the heinous acts they did to each other.
Yeah, Marleyans and Eldians. You know, there's no reason to explain.
They are all devils one way or another.
Yeah, so why do you think that the Rumbling would get rid of the war if you let Eldians are bad people? Why do you think that? And why do you think that leaving a divided Eldia would not lead to a civil war? That's what I think. Because again, there's two major very, very opposing political factions on the island. Why do you think it wouldn't have devolved into a civil war? That's my question. You just admitted, again, that's what I'm saying. These people are admitting our talking points. They're saying our talking points. Okay, so if Eldians are bad people, then why would the Rumbling change anything? Why? On the island or otherwise? God, you people, you make me sick, man.
Isayama throughout Attack on Titan deep dived into the psychology of human beings, where each of us have a devil within us. When we are pushed to our limits,
No, again, he's being cute. No, not we're pushed to our limits. When we have power. It's not, we have a devil just hiding inside, and you know, if someone messes with my kids, then Mama Bear might come out. No, it's I have incredible power, so I'm gonna do evil with it. Go into any mall and pick out a random person, give that person incredible power, and within 5 years, probably less than that, but within 5 years, they'll be doing unspeakably evil stuff without a care in the world. Don't try to act like, there's a monster outside of us all, but it might come out if we're pushed to our limits. No. It'll come out when you are 100% the villain, 100% not oppressed, and you do not need to do it at all. That's what the message he's trying to send. But let's continue.
Do things no one can imagine, and some of us are even labeled devils by others either due to fear or pride. Eren's argument in Attack on Titan no Requiem is not only sound.
Yeah, we're all the same. If Marlians and Eldians are the same, and Marlians oppress Eldians, then why don't Eldians oppress Eldians? Why would the Rumbling save anything? Why would the Rumbling stop the cycle of violence? What is wrong with this guy? This is a 3 out of 10 wits move right here. What? You expect Armin, and of course Armin being the intelligent guy that he is, and of course unintelligent people are writing this, which is why Armin doesn't respond with the intelligent answer, which is, if we're all the same, then how can there won't be a civil war? There should be a civil war then. But, God, these people, man,
but also portrays him to be a rational-minded person who has weighed all odds before he made such a grievous choice of the Rumbling.
Again, I already expressed my problems with this, but...
Whereas the Eren of Isayama's Attack on Titan turned into
so respectful.
Confused, mentally ill boy who was manipulated by Ymir to reenact...
Okay, confused, mentally ill boy. Well, yeah, he was confused. Of course he was confused. Why wouldn't he be confused? And again, if he wasn't confused, he'd be saying, "Oh, how come he's not confused when he has a past, present, and future, and multiple conflicting motivations inside him? How come he's not confused?" That's a plot hole. Well, I'll tell you why he's confused. He's confused because of what I just said. He can see the past, present, and future at the same time, and according to you, there's multiple timelines, so that should get real confusing. Secondly, he has conflicting motivations. We know this. We know he cares about Eldia. He cares about Mikasa specifically, his friends, his freedom, and his nation. So of course he'd be confused. And he's been put on an act for 4 years. Of course he'd be confused, right? If he wasn't confused, that'd be ridiculous. And no, mentally ill boy. What are you talking about, mentally ill boy? I don't know if you noticed that, but everyone in Attack on Titan has PTSD. So what do you mean mentally ill boy? No, Eren is the Chad in Isayama, because Eren sacrifices himself for his woman, for his lady. That's what I like. I don't know about you. You may have grown up reading Superman or whatever. I grew up reading King Arthur, so I appreciate some chivalry every now and again. Let's continue with this, man. This is just getting ridiculous. And no, he wasn't being manipulated by Ymir. If he was being manipulated by Ymir, then why talk to Jean and Connie after he got killed, or why talk to Jean and Connie in 131? Why? He had no reason to do that. That had nothing to do with their plan. Why did he tell Jean and Connie to live long, happy lives if he was being manipulated by Ymir? And why has he been saying this since before he kisses Ymir hand? He's been saying he wants to live long, happy lives before he gets a sword in his hand. So where is this coming from, bro? Alright, let's continue. We need to finish this up.
Love story for freedom. Eren in Attack on Titan no Requiem is not deluded and does care
Eren's not deluded either.
about his friends and family, but is constrained in action by the lack of control he has for other people. He cannot control the...
Yeah, he can't control other people, including the Eldians. And he wants Mikasa, above all else, to be free and live a long, happy life. So that's what he does for her. he makes sure the Titan powers are gone from the world, and he makes sure that the island is safe. God, this is getting ridiculous.
The non-Eldians, and he understands the pain and suffering they will eventually bring with the freedom they desire. In any case, It was always us versus them. Either the Eldians die off just like Zeke wanted, or non-Eldians all die. Again, Zeke and Eren literally are parallels of each other. Zeke portraying self-hatred and the desire of the extinction of his own race. And then we have Eren portraying the intrinsic nature to live, desiring freedom for his race and progeny. Regardless, Armin
again, this nonsense about him somehow these people like him liking his race better than, which he did not know he was a part of, instead of him liking Mikasa.
Realizes that they are going in circles and that nothing will change.
And again, this was predicted way back when. You see, I said there'd be a divide between Armin and Eren.
So questions, why did Eren even bring him back to the paths? Where again Eren gives a solid response, saying he is finally giving the answers to all of Armin's questions and that he doesn't want to fight his friend.
Oh, so now you understand what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. Armin knew in 139 he was that Eren had a high possibility he was going to die. This is their last conversation. Of course, he didn't waste his time fighting with him, and because as you can see, it was a fruitless conversation and did nothing. And then of course Eren says, "I don't want to fight my best friend." Yeah, neither did Armin, which is why Armin just said, "You know what? Thank you for making a sacrifice for us. I won't let this mistake, this error, go in vain." And he didn't. Everyone's happy. So again, I don't know why you guys are so angry about that line when he just cut out the pseudo dramatic nonsense. Then you apparently understand. The conversation being cut short because they don't want to spend their last moments fighting. This might not be Eren's last moment. This is in 139 as Eren's last moments, last conversation. Of course they wouldn't be fighting. Of course he would say, "Yeah, thank you," and then I won't let this error go in vain. And of course Armin didn't let it go in vain. So I don't understand the problem with that line.
However, even after Eren admits not wanting to fight his best friend to the death, Armin, with a bit more understanding to Eren, has allowed him to find resolve in fighting Eren even if he has to kill him. Eren will not take their freedom away from them. He'll honor his choice like he always had done.
And let's not forget this is based off of the music video, and as the theory goes, apparently Armin kills him, Mikasa, and everyone else so that he can have 4 years of freedom and peace. That's somehow better than the original.
And allow this fight to happen. To Armin, he believes that if he doesn't stop Eren, then those who died so far would have died in vain, and the spirits of the scouts will be tarnished.
So which is it? Is it those who died in vain on Eren's? Because Eren invoked Commander Eren and the scouts. Now Armin's invoking it. Who's right in this? This is so bizarre.
Armin, even after hearing all of Eren's arguments, continues to represent humanity by being naive and wanting to see hope that the Eldians.
No, that's the thing. People keep saying Armin's not naive. He's not naive at all. What he is he cares about people who are not. He cares about other people that are not close to him. Right? Those what do they say? Fight for those who you don't know their names and like that. That's Armin's whole thing. So he's not naive. He just has different priorities than Eren, and he was trying to skirt around it so that it appeared to be on his side, but he wasn't. He was simply coming off as a naive. But Armin's not naive. As stated in one of his final lines when he said conflict will never end, which should clue you in on the extra pages. That should be a hint towards that. But somehow you were still surprised when that came out. Let's continue.
And the rest of the world can still coexist. Even though this ideal isn't backed up by anything, to Armin, as long as he lives through it and sticks by his own.
That's what I said. They don't understand the story. I'm actually gonna bring this up every time they don't understand the story because I think it's really important for people to understand just how much they didn't understand the story and how long they didn't understand the story. So yeah, Armin's character is another time when they completely did not understand the story at all in any way.
On morals, it doesn't really matter. Armin wants to change even if he's a monster. He believes in a future where he doesn't have to be one. With that, guys, that's the end of the chapter.
Okay, great. I have the great and distinct pleasure of never listening to any of this ever again in my life. Yeah, and I checked recently, and chapter 3 is still not out, and hopefully will never come out. So yeah, that was the completion of this series. Me reacting to ANR. ANR is a heaping pile of trash. It's garbage, and it should never be realized. That website should be taken down and thrown in the trash and set on fire. So what did we learn here? What did we learn from this entire series? Well, we learned that these people did not understand the story. They didn't understand the scouts. They didn't understand Commander Erwin. These people are still to this day bickering over whether they should have stayed Armin or Erwin. That should have been our first clue that they did not know anything about anything. Because obviously, Armin was the right decision, and it became increasingly more obvious as the story went along, or the more they thought about it. So yeah, these people, they have no business reading Attack on Titan, and they have no business commenting on Attack on Titan whatsoever. That being said, yeah, that being said, if you disagree with anything I have to say, you are more than welcome to comment, email, or whatever you want to do, and I will gladly have a debate with you. I'm not going to engage. I will be responding to comments, but I will not be engaging in long conversations over text because it's inefficient for multiple reasons. But after I said all that, I hope you guys have a great day. Like and subscribe, and join me for my next video.